What's up guys, Tommy Bowie here from Movie Rewind, and today I'm going to be talking about some writers I would like to see return to Doctor Who. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as we all know, Russell T Davies is taking over once again as showrunner of Doctor Who, and I have to be honest, I have never seen the fan base as energised as it is at the moment. Obviously we have the 60th anniversary coming up in November with David Tennant returning now as the 14th Doctor, and then of course in 2024 we have Ncuti Gatwa taking over as the 15th Doctor in Series 14. For me personally, I've not been this excited about Doctor Who since Series 10 was released in 2017. So it's fair to say the one thing Davies is good at is making sure that the fan base is energised for the new era. And obviously Davies isn't just returning as showrunner, he is also returning as head writer, which is a fantastic thing because I always loved Davies' scripts. I think they perfectly fitted Doctor Who, so I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table this time. But then that got me thinking, is there any other writers I would like to see return alongside Davies? And actually, there are quite a few. Now, as we all know, one of the first things Chibnall did when he took over as showrunner in 2018 was to say he only wanted writers new to the programme. I suppose Chibnall's philosophy was new blood would able to breathe new life into the show, but obviously if you remove experienced writers from a sci-fi show, then I think the show will suffer in the long run, and that clearly is for me what happened during the Chibnall era. The script really did go down in quality. So I've decided to put together a list of 4 writers based on their former work for Doctor who I would like to see return to the show. Obviously, this is my own personal list based purely on bias. It's not the definitive answer. Now, one writer that I would like to see return to Doctor Who in the new era is Jamie Mathieson. Now, Jamie Mathieson is a 12th Doctor era writer, and he wrote 4 episodes for Doctor Who. He wrote The Mummy on the Orient Express, Flatline, The Girl Who Died, and Oxygen. So apart from The Girl Who Died, which was co-written by Stephen Moffat, so I'll give him a pass because that's an absolutely abysmal story, his other 3 stories are fantastic. Mathieson always delivered something unique. The Mummy on the Orient Express, it just had this Sherlock Holmes-esque atmosphere, and the 12th Doctor was fantastic in that story. Flatline is an underrated episode. I really enjoy the Boneless as villains, and Mathieson was able to really make you feel for the characters involved in that storyline, even though you didn't have that long to really get to know them. And then Oxygen. And what Mathieson did with Oxygen, which Chibnall should have taken note of, is that you can have politics in Doctor Who as long as you have a decent story to go with it. And that's exactly what Oxygen was about. Yes, it was about the capitalist system, but it was done in a subtle way, in an engaging story. So Mathieson is a writer I would love to see return to Doctor Who. I think he always gives something a bit different. He's one of those writers who never does the same thing twice, which is always a good thing. So yeah, I'd love to see Mathieson return. I think he'd be a good asset for Davies to use. Sarah Dollard is a writer from the 12th Doctor era who only did 2 episodes, but I think she has so much more to offer the programme. Obviously when Chris Chibnall took over, he decided he didn't want any old writers, so people like Dollard, who I think had more ideas, were kind of thrown aside and replaced with talentless non-sci-fi writers, which is always a massive shame. But Dollard's 2 previous scripts were fantastic. Her first script, Face the Raven, a beautiful and emotional end to the character of Clara Oswald at the time. And no matter what they did with Clara in Hellbent, Face the Raven is still a very strong episode. Dollard was able to create a very emotional script, which I think handled the 12th Doctor and Clara's relationship very well. And then her second episode was Thin Ice in Series 10, and I have a massive soft spot for Thin Ice. I think it's the Frost Fair setting. I also think it handles the Doctor and Bill really well together. One thing Dollard seems to be good at is writing dynamics between the Doctor and their companion, so I think that could be useful considering we're going to have a new Doctor and companion very, very soon. I think Dollard is someone who has plenty more ideas, and I don't think because Chibnall took over she ever had the opportunity to do any more of them. So I think if you want someone who is relatively new to the programme, in the sense they've only written 2 episodes, but definitely someone who I think has more to offer the show, then I think Dollard is the person to ask for. Now, I am as shocked as anyone to actually think that a Chris Chibnall era writer is on this list, because I haven't liked the majority of writers that worked during the Chibnall era. But one ray of sunshine is Maxine Alderton. Now, Alderton only wrote 2 episodes during the Chibnall era, but they were both pretty good. Her first one, The Haunting of Villa Diodati, was surprisingly strong. It embraced gothic horror very well. I liked the inclusion of Mary Shelley in it, and I also think that the 13th Doctor was pretty strong in this episode. Plus the Cyberman, I liked that initial idea of the Cyberman. I thought that was included quite well. And her second episode, Village of the Angels, in my opinion the best episode of Flux, and one of those episodes which Chris Chibnall didn't have his dirty little hands on too much. So I think what Alderton initially intended for with Village of the Angels was mostly kept intact. And obviously the Weeping Angels are villains which, you know, every time you see them they appear less scary, but with this episode they brought them back to their horror roots, which I think was a great thing. So Alderton is someone who I think can do decent scripts, and without the direction of Chris Chibnall I think she would flourish, especially under someone like Russell T Davies. So yeah, I would say ask Alderton back, because from her 2 previous episodes, especially as she was working under the showmanship of Chris Chibnall, I think she'd be good under a new era of Doctor Who. Now, the writer I would like to see return to Doctor Who more than any other one, and if you have watched Doctor Who videos on this channel, you probably know who it's going to be. It's Tobey Whithouse. Now, Whithouse, unlike other writers on this list, has had a long history with Doctor Who. I mean, the first episode he wrote was School Reunion, all the way back in 2006, which is a fantastic episode which reintroduced Sarah Jane Smith to Doctor Who. But Whithouse is a writer. In every episode he has written, I find something to appreciate in it. Even, let's say, some of his lesser episodes, such as The Vampires of Venice or The Lie of the Land, I still think there is stuff to admire in those scripts. And some of his scripts, they're just a joy to watch. Take Under the Lake, Before the Flood, A Town Called Mercy. These are really strong scripts for Doctor Who, and obviously his best episode, The God Complex, which is just the perfect episode. It really is. Whithouse always delivers something unique, which is always a great thing. You don't just want writers going over the same concepts again and again, and Whithouse was someone who obviously knew that, because none of his episodes are the same. They're always something different. Now, obviously, I don't know if Whithouse would return to the show. His last script was in Series 10 back in 2017. But he is someone on my wish list, because I'd love to see another Tobey Whithouse episode, because there is just always something to appreciate in one, and I haven't really seen one which I can't watch and not enjoy. So yeah, bring Tobey Whithouse back, because, you know, we need the old gang back together again. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. Now, this is just my personal opinion. These are 4 writers who I would like to see return to the show based on their previous work for Doctor Who. But please feel free to comment down below. Is there any writers you would like to see return to the world of Doctor Who? You know, it doesn't matter what writer it is. You know, we all appreciate different episodes, and I think that's the best thing about Doctor Who. I feel like there is something for everyone in this show, so that's always a great thing. So anyway, I hope you have a good day, and I will see you in another one. See ya!